Hello, language learners. Today I'm going to continue the video on vowels, and I had a few thoughts about the previous video that I just would like to add in the beginning of this one. So here you can see the roots that lead from E to E, O, and U, right? So once again, the hint is that you could also try placing all the other vowels on the same scheme of your mouth. That would be a good idea. But I hope that you totally kind of see that I'm not going to spell everything out. And if you have any questions, you also can ask. And the thing that I wanted to start with this time is that I rewatched that first video, and I'm totally not satisfied with my own pronunciation, and I wanted to point that out for one reason, because if you think that that there's a certain level that you reach and then you have your pronunciation, this thing that I'm saying right now is just to illustrate that there's all you have to practice, because we're outside of the natural English language environment, English language space, and we have to work consciously on our pronunciation. Otherwise, it might seem that it's okay, and like it seemed to me, that it's okay, it's fine, I can just turn on the camera and just keep going as if nothing's wrong. But being sick for a couple of weeks now, I kind of realized that it's still you still need to practice, and this is what I wanted to start with, just to point that out. And don't worry if you don't get it straight away, or if you think that it's taking you such a long time to get your pronunciation. Don't worry, it's a natural thing. It's like Sviatoslav Richter, a famous Russian piano player. He said that if I don't practice for 1 day, I hear it. If I don't practice for 2 days, my friends can hear it. And if I don't practice for 3 days, the audience can hear it. So that is quite an interesting saying. So don't be discouraged, practice, and have fun with it. So this is what I wanted to start with. Right, and here's also something I added to this presentation. Not just this piece of advice to try and place all these sounds on this table, which is much more, it has much more freedom of placing the symbols, right? But also, I added this kind of thing from the previous time. Remember what we did, right? So this is the sound. Can you make the sound? E, right? And then you remember we focus on 2 points of focus. So you focus here in the back. Once again, just do this. E. And now you focus on the tip of the tongue, right? And focus on this point here. Once again, E. So I'm pronouncing the same thing, but my awareness shifts from point 1 to point 2. And now, what we did last time, I asked you to keep the same points of focus, but then open your mouth ever so slightly. Once again. And now open the mouth a bit. And what do you get? Right? Something different a bit. And why I did these separate drawings here, first of all, I like the color blue to go with the sound. I don't know why, but and then this one better with the sound. I don't know. But what I want to say is that when you open your mouth, it's quite important that when you open your mouth, the main part of the tongue actually loses some of the contact with the upper teeth. So it might seem kind of obvious, like Captain Obvious strikes again, but it's kind of important that when you open your mouth, the point of contact really shrinks. It really becomes smaller and smaller. So the wider you open your mouth, the less teeth that the main part of the tongue is touching. So that's important. And so this is why here I actually pointed this out. And here you can actually extend this all the way to here. I don't know. If you, I don't know. So if you're doing the same thing as I'm doing, so like drawing and all of that, these pieces of advice are pretty essential here, right? So, and then for the sound ah, you release the first point of contact and just open your mouth as much as possible, and then you get ah, right? So once again, e, and then this one, ah. Did you hear how I actually said this I felt it a little bit. Then it's trying to make it itself become a little bit. So to avoid doing that, also remember the glottal stop. That's the thing that you go and you stop the sound. Try not to ignore these ones because it's important to make these vowels checked. So I also didn't point that out last time. Okay, and also, actually, I found these pictures from my previous experiments. So basically, I call that the skull chart. Skull, like the skeleton of the head, skull chart. And this is the one for the E, right? This is the one for the E. So here I actually released this very much. And you can see that the face is also a little bit different. And the arrow here is pointing at the gap between the teeth. So here it's very small, and then here it's pretty sufficient. But these two are actually relatives. But then when you go from this one to the next one, you can see that the gap is really big. And the tongue actually loses this one point of contact, and it just drops down but stays in the front of the mouth, right? So if you try to place these on the so did you think I was just having all that for nothing? I mean, let's try to place these, the e and a, on the same chart. This is, by the way, this is the IPA chart, the original, as close as I can get it to the original. But then here again, so you have the E very high and very front, and then E, where would it be? Again, try doing that on your own, and then check out how I do it. So I guess that for me it's somewhere here. It's like right? Here we have, but then again, if you catch my drift, then there are also subdivisions within these squares, right, in the mouth. So here E and E, you can see that the E sound is in another subdivision square here. And then also the same picture could be viewed for this thing. So the Russian would be here, and then here would be another one, and then for this one, for the sound, you might notice that you cannot go any lower than this, so probably it will be somewhere here, right, the tongue. And the fact that this is in the front, and I'm trying to emphasize that you have to be as front as possible here, then perhaps this goes here, right? So there also might be something here for the English language, but don't really think that this is all. I mean, there is something here also, and here. There are lots of languages in the world, and if you learn some of them, you might come across a vowel sound that is in one of these slots or spots on the chart. So this is an oversimplified version for the people who are not going for any other languages but English. But this one is a universal thing for all the languages in the world. So if you explore this chart and try to like experiment and look for your new discoveries, and you can see that this sound it doesn't really work, but this sound can be also moved, not like it can be a little bit more forward. No, it can't be more forward because it's the most forward you can get, but it could be more back, it could be retracted. And then this is what you do. I'm not going to draw this here, but if your sound and you feel that sometimes you make a little bit retracted, so you draw this arrow here. It's not an arrow, but it's a kind of thing pointing to one side. So this means that this would be retracted, like pronounced a little further to the back. And this one would mean that it would be forward, moved forward. But this doesn't really make sense because is the most forward consonant there is. But then if you want to emphasize it for your own, for the sake of putting into shape some of your discoveries, then just go ahead and draw it like that. I mean, if it makes sense for you. And I mean, it does. It kind of does make sense if you just emphasize the forwardness of this then it's a good idea. Okay, so and then the it's here. So yeah, I kind of got carried away again, but that makes sense. So let's go on. Okay, with all these things, right? We still have 10 minutes. That's good. Okay, the next root. So we've done this in video 2, I guess, and let's try to do it again. Once again, what is this sound? Ooh, this one. Now let's combine these. Huh, this one. And now, while this is happening, you just relax the lips completely and leave the tongue in the back where it is. Once again, and let's go. Once again. Ooh. Huh. Right? So if you this is, you have to record that and see if you have dramatic differences between this and this. Probably this is not entirely correct. Okay, so okay, and once again, so it's a good idea to draw this the teeth, right? That would be a good idea to just again go for the once again, let's go this ooh, and now move the tongue right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and which teeth can you actually feel with the back of the tongue for the ooh sound? I guess it would be something like this. Like here you would have the ooh sound, right? Last time I did the marker thing. Let's do it again this time. So that's ooh, right? When you go for the huh, for the right? This thing would move a little bit. It would move slightly forward. A little bit here. More. Just a little bit. Don't focus on that at all. Just like it will do it on itself. That's an organic thing. It takes much more willpower to hold it in this position. So your Russian tongue will move it forward automatically. It's not just a Russian tongue. Like I remember I showed you this principle. So if the elbows are the corners of the mouth, and the chest is the tongue. So what do I do with the corners of my mouth in order to move the tongue forward? I stretch, right? I stretch the corners of my mouth. And then if I want to move the tongue back, I do this. And I go, ooh, right? That makes sense. So the lips go forward, the tongue goes back. This thing is a principle, like a physical thing, how your bodies work. And then everything else is kind of counterintuitive. So to keep the tongue in the back is very counterintuitive. So hold it back to the closer to the sound ooh, right? Once again, ooh, and you have still hold it in the back as far as possible. Huh, right? So again, between this and this, I would say that this is what's going on. So I would say that here you have the position for the and you keep holding it, and then you go for the position for the and only then you go for the right? These are all the steps that are intermediate steps in between the 1 and the 2. So I mean, there is another document that I might have sent you that has the full roots of going from this to this. These are simplified ones for the recording, but then you can extend these. It's not a big deal. It's not a big problem. So you can do it on your own. If you don't have my document, if you do have my document, open it and check it out. If you have any difficulties with this step, this is a very difficult step, by the way, right? So because here you have the lips slightly rounded, and here you have them totally relaxed, completely just right? But the tongue stays in the same position here, so it's the same kind of thing, right? And this is where we stopped with these 3 videos that I had recorded previously, right? And now here's another one. Here's another interesting thing. I just changed one symbol. So this is you know, and this is right? What's the difference? Actually, some people say there's no difference at all. Some people say that just this is a stressed vowel and this is an unstressed vowel. Makes sense. So if you say cup, one, just, shut, month, mummy, whatever, any other any other words with it. So you basically pronounce something very similar to this that we have as a result of this root. I would say that here you would, like when I pronounce this I kind of, you can notice that I show the lower teeth. I don't know why that occurs. You can also, can you just do that just a little bit? So once again, ooh, huh, right? Just that little movement of the lower lip. You could experiment with that. You don't have to do it like that, but try. So for this sound, it's still a bit, it's a relative of the this sound I'm going to illustrate this point here. They are the closest relatives they are. I don't know why. I know why, but just to make it look symmetrical and pretty. But in the Underhill chart, they are kind of too distant, and people don't usually notice the similarity between these. But then it kind of makes sense, because how do you pronounce this word here? You probably pronounce it as cup, and you have this sound in this word, right? So you have cup, but, and but, right? Also but, and then you have love. You also have the same sound here. Cup, but, love, just. And you see that in 3 out of 4, I have the U letter to stand for this sound. Doesn't it make sense that originally it was really close to the sound U? Does it make sense? I mean, it does, really. I don't understand why we don't talk about that at schools. But that makes sense. I mean, look, this is just the one O here, but it also kind of could be close to U, because for a lot of Russian language learners, this U reminds them of the sound or, the Russian or, or, or. So it's kind of a tiny nanomillimeter difference, but so these ones, these letters and this letter could be originally, could it be that they were originally pronounced as U, or even at some point U? And that's actually can be, this hypothesis could be proved if you look at the north of England kind of dialects, like from the people from the north of England, right? You would not hear cup, but, love, and just. You would hear cup, but, love, and just, mummy. And you would hear that. Again, where can you hear that? If you watch like English sitcom, or not sitcom, it's not a sitcom, it's a show, like a series, Misfits, or any other ones where they introduce some dialectal speech, then you can hear lots of people saying cup, but, love, and just, and one. And that would be normal. But for us, it's kind of weird. But then all of that I'm saying to make you understand that these two are very closely related. Very closely related. So U and are relatives. Don't make them too different. Okay? So here I'm going to say that originally in some dialects that would be pronounced as U, and it makes sense. This would be U, this would be U, and this would be U. And then in some of them it's right? And I would not say that this is weirder than this. In the north of England, like this would be pronounced as a bath, although it's a British accent. It's one of the British dialects, not dialects, but accents. Sorry for that. But then only a few accents pronounce it as bath. This is the posh RP kind of thing, but this is bath, and that's closer to what it is. Really, like here you don't say cart. This is a cart. It's a nice cart, you know. Or oh, this is bad. This is too bad. I mean, you know, where do you draw the line of weird and not weird? Check out the spelling once in a while, right? And you'll see quite a lot of interesting references in the language itself. It's a whole system of references to history, to culture, and to all the other wonderful aspects of human existence. Right, so including physiology, like how your tongues move. Again, tongue. Actually, it's supposed to be pronounced with an but then in the north of England, it's pronounced as tongue. Okay, so it's fun, right? But then you still hold the same position for the and the U in the back. I'm not going to copy and paste this thing, not to waste your time, but again, the same thing relates to the sound Okay, and then I'm going to make this video a little bit longer, but these sounds should be together because they kind of closely related. So this one is and it's the closest relative you can get. And also we have another one. We have the sound, this one. Okay, let's just try to follow the route that I've put here, right? Let's go. Ooh. Huh. 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 Right? Once again. Huh. And now try to make this as long as possible. Huh. Just try to, like, imagine that this sound, that these two sounds are falling off a cliff. You go, huh, don't fall. Like, you go, huh. just try to make them long. Okay, once again, huh, right? And here, I would recommend that this already kind of sounds, this already sounds like the word her. You can see the similarities and hear the similarities even on this level. What I would recommend, what I would suggest, is that then here, the intermediate step would be this. So you go, her, and now you need to open the mouth a little bit. Remember, we've talked about this IPA chart, and so if you have which is somewhere here, right, in the back, like they're close, you see, right? So if you open the mouth a little bit, so this thing shows the direction of the movement of the tongue, right? So I would say that the would be here, or even a bit closer here. Like, that doesn't make sense for now, but like, focus on it. I don't know. I'm going to leave it here. It might be not accurate, but this is how I feel it. It's, again, this is how I'm sensing it, and you can be feeling it in a different way. So you can place your own sounds on the same chart and see what happens, and we could discuss it. We could discuss it. Right. So once again, huh, and a little bit like lower, huh, and now you go, and now you can go with the intonation down. You can go, and you can go, her, and that is this word, her, like her work, her world. It's a girl, and that's her world, and curl, whatever, I don't know. So, right now, I'm moving ahead of myself, but this is the sound o, right? Again, starts from and goes to o. So it's a little bit, you can notice that this sound, which we were talking about here, is different from the sound and I think that the difference is, like, to my mind, it's totally inaccurate, but you can see that on some charts too, that this sound is sometimes drawn here or even here. I would say that it's here, but that's more forward. I don't really know the difference, but I could tell you the difference how I feel it organically, like as far as the speech organs are concerned. So this one, I pronounce you can look, the lip it stays where it is normally, and for I kind of show the lower teeth. What does it change in the quality of the vowel? I mean, try it again. You're in the comfort of your own home. You can do whatever you feel like doing, and experiment. Make them different. That's what I have to tell you, because this is a long vowel, this is a short vowel, but the difference is not in the length, and it's not just in the length, it's in the quality. The quality should be somehow different, and experiment, look for it. It's an open ground. As long as you keep these sounds, all the four sounds, as long as you keep them very much in the back of your mouth, it's fine. Experiment, be looking for them, and have fun with that. Right? So once again, let's go. Oo, h, 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 the same kind of and then you have the and her, and then were, and then girl, world, curl, whatever. One of my favorite stand-up comedians, Bill Burr, if you pronounce his surname with a British pronunciation, Burr, that's his surname. Again, spelled with B-U-R-R, two R's. So that's interesting. Right, and then one more thing for today, the last thing for today probably, is this. So I didn't want to say anything about this in this video, but probably this should be mentioned. This phoneme, I mean the sound, the schwa, as they call it in in all the books on pronunciation, many books, schwa. It's the name of this sound because it's the most frequently used sound in the English language. All the vowels, they go and try to become this vowel. This is the most comfortable position for the English tongue, for the English language to stay in, right? And so there are three ways of pronouncing it, as far as I know. So this one, just the and also it's very short. So if you it's this thing occurs in the position before the stressed syllable. So this thing occurs before the stressed syllable, right? For example, this is how you pronounce the articles. If you go a dog, a cat, like you go a dog, a very short, you see, this is almost not even there. This is a very short sound, very short, but from the same position in the back. It's not a dog, it's not a dog, it's a dog, right? Something like that. And so about, also you go about, away, affect, accept, all these words, you have the short and it's before the stressed syllable. So the stressed syllables are here. Affectionate, you can actually also have longer words, but the principle is the same. This is before the stressed syllable, or this is sometimes pronounced in the middle of the word, like if it's a long word, like photograph, okay? Like photograph, right? Photograph, you have two stresses, and then here you have in the middle of the word, you have this kind of almost not even heard, just t, photograph, photograph, photograph. See? And this is one of the ways. Then there's another one. There's the kind of the one that sounds like and we can hear this in, and then the other one that sounds like right? So these are two different ones. So this you can read everywhere, like if you have an ending like obviously, right? And lots of other different ways after the stressed syllable. So this is the end of the word, the final part of the word. And I guess you guys are wondering why I had drawn this thing, and I will probably get to this. So this one, the one, you will read in the words like America, Africa, cinema, Anna, Nora, sofa, and then it sounds like an right? Whenever you have the kind of a ending, it's not an ending, but the suffix that's spelled is an a, or it's a part of the word. I'm not talking morphology now. Let's focus on the the final part of the word. If you have this, then it's pronounced as right? And it's just kind of simple. And then this one you pronounce if you have something like this. If you actually have the spelling that goes like ER, then you go for the thing, like father, mother, brother, and it sounds more like an sound. This is why I want to emphasize this. It's kind of important to figure out the difference between the and the because sometimes it does make a difference. I mean, at some point you will come across some word or a phrase that for which this will be relevant. But for now, just keep it there. Right, I think this should be the end of this video because I've told you basically everything I had to tell you about these 4 sounds here, the relatives, the very close relatives. And the next part of the video about the vowels will be dedicated to these, and that's all. And then we have diphthongs, right? So for now, practice these, and look, we just have 3 more monophthongs left, and we can go to diphthongs. And these are, by the way, just combining 2 parts, not too difficult. And then we have the consonants, right? So I will see you around. Bye.